Biology, the scientific study of life. Evolution and human culture. Human culture is related to evolutionary theory in the discipline of zoobiology, whose main premise is that certain behavioral characteristics exist because they are expressions of genes that have been perpetuated by natural selection. In his seminal 1975 book, Zoobiology, The New Synthesis, E.O. Wilson speculated about the evolutionary basis of certain kinds of social behavior, mainly in non-human animals, but also including human culture, sparking a debate that remains heated today. The spectrum of possible human social behaviors may be influenced by our genetic makeup, but this is very different from seeing that genes are rigid determinants of behavior. This distinction is at the core of the debate about evolutionary perspectives on human behavior. Skeptics fear that evolutionary interpretation of a human behavior could be used to justify the status quo in human society, thus rationalizing current social injustices. Evolutionary biologists argue that this is a gross oversimplification and misunderstanding of what the data tell us about human biology. Evolutionary explanations of human behavior do not reduce us to robots stamped out of rigid genetic molds. Just as individuals vary extensively in anatomical features, we should expect inherent variations in behavior as well. Environment intervenes in the pathway from genotype to phenotype for physical traits and even more so for behavioral traits. And because of our capacity for learning and versatility, human behavior is probably more plastic than that of any other animal. Over our recent evolutionary history, we have built up a diversity of structured societies with governments, laws, cultural values, and regions that define what is acceptable behavior and what is not, even when unacceptable behavior might enhance an individual's Darwinian fitness. And yet, we read in the media about newly discovered genes for complex human behavioral traits such as depression, violence, or alcoholism. Doesn't this reinforce the idea that our behavior is, in fact, hardwired? According to Robert Bowman, director of the Center for Developmental and Health Genetics at Pennsylvania State University, research into the heritability of behavior is the best demonstration of the importance of environment. As Bowman puts it, genes and non-genetic environmental factors build on each other. For instance, it might seem that the human ability to speak is completely genetic. However, the ability to learn a specific language, such as English or Spanish, is a function of complex brain that develops in a particular environmental context under the guidance of a human genome and with the aid of social learning. If the behavior of humans, like that of other species, is the result of an interactions between genes and environment, what is unique about our species? Perhaps it is our social and cultural situations that make us truly unique and that provide the only feature in which there is no continuum between humans and other animals.